to another video. In today's video, we're discussing the 6 meetings that are unrecorded between Trump and Putin. I know what was said in those meetings. Now, first of all, let's get the whole Russia-Trump thing, the election, 2016. Let's just get the facts out there right now, okay? So the facts are that Trump was Russia's dude in the 2016 election. Russia did everything Russia could to help Trump win in 2016. Okay? Now, was that why Trump won? No. Trump won because of the non-democratic electoral college. Okay? So this fake democracy we have in the United States with this electoral college being a broken theory of how to run a democracy is how Trump ended up winning. Sure, Russia tried. Sure, they had connections, but it doesn't matter. The garbage democracy is how he was able to win, okay? And the only solution in this paradigm is called rank choice voting. You eliminate the electoral college. You get rid of it entirely. Then you have a baseline of criteria that the people that want to be president have to meet. And then however many there is, 20, 30, there's the first vote, right? And then if nobody gets over 50% of the vote, then you take the X number off the top, and those all go to the runoff, okay? It's how sane democracies are run, all right? So the media would love to just be like, oh, it was Russia, and they did. Because they benefit off this fake democracy, because this fake democracy keeps putting people in power that funnel money to those very organizations, okay? Since forever. So now Trump wins, the media goes on their whole hysteria. Not justified. Russia doing everything they could do wasn't, like versus how broken our democracy is when you put those things on a scale, like a scale of justice. Well, here's the broken democracy, and the elbow is Russia's, okay? Right? So, but they don't want to tell you about the way we can have a real democracy, okay? So now Trump's president, and he has 6 unrecorded, which is unprecedented, all right? This has never happened, right? Our presidents have our stenographers, our translators present at every meeting throughout history, except for 6 meetings. And what was said in those 6 meetings? That was a 6-course lesson in how to be a dictator, okay? Plain and simple. Attack democratic institutions, divide the country, support the military and the police, that they can do no wrong. And so, discredit journalism, attack journalists, This is exactly what Putin was telling Trump in these meetings, okay? How to take, and look, Putin understands what would have happened if those clowns on January 6th would have succeeded with what they were trying to do. That was regardless, it was going to be a civil war, People like me aren't going to fucking put up with dictators, right? Period. Fuck dictators. and all their supporters and all their little wannabe. Yeah, fuck them all, okay? So I'll go into fucking whoop ass mode to protect democracy, which I'm a fucking anti-war person. So that is what Putin knows what will happen. And Putin was supporting these organizations in the United States that were trying to succeed off huge sections of states. Like there was this whole one that had to do with the whole West Coast. And once I found out, because I was like, yeah, maybe that's, that it's not the answer, okay? The answer in the future has nothing to do with democracy and nothing to do with dictators, okay? It goes dictators, democracy, a warped species that doesn't need any of this stuff, okay? That's where I am. I'm up here promoting this. All this is garbage. Everything's garbage, but there's a stepping stone to this. And the dictators are back here. Kings and knights and all that shit, that was all dictators. Feudalism, all right? And then fascism was like, oh, we just need to go back. And we still have these fascist dictators and, whatever the heck North Korea is, they're definitely not communists. They're definitely not. So anyway, the point being is I'm up here saying we can do better than even democracy, all right? But the step between democracy and the best is not dictator, okay? And that is people saying, oh, it was so better back then. We just have to go back to this time period and this past period, and then it's just so great. Some people have just decided, oh, this is as much technology as we can handle. We're cool right here. They're the Mennonites or the Amish. I guess they pick like the 1860s, and they're like, we're cool. We got our buggies, But then, these Putin dictators, they've picked a time in period where, one guy just runs the country and he's the dictator, and that's the past, right? It has nothing to do with the future. So in those 6 meetings between Putin and Trump, Putin tried to turn Trump, tried to give him the tools, the knowledge that he used, because he took over. It was about a 5-second-year-old democracy, which is probably about the easiest ones to take over, which is what he did, right? So, and Putin is much smarter than Trump by a long shot, right? Fortunately for Western civilization, fortunately for democracy, because if he was, he's just a complete clown, Trump, complete clown, moron. When he speaks, people of my intellect cringe, like he never says anything intelligent, okay, period. And then beyond that, I listened to what he had to say in the beginning. I was catching him in lies and was like, he's lying. I don't need anybody to point out that he's lying to me. I catch him in lies from one event to the next event. The stories don't line up. This doesn't line up. I remember this guy's the kid of being the bankrupt guy. Oh, this guy went bankrupt, okay? And watch my video on, there's literally 5 points of separation between Hitler and Trump. It goes Hitler, Prescott Bush, Nixon, Roger Stone, Trump, okay? It's just facts, The lineage is the lineage. What are you going to do? So, the fact that Trump was kicked off Twitter, he should be in jail. He shouldn't have been kicked off Twitter. He should be in jail and not able to get onto his Twitter. That's reality, because when you try to subvert the democracy and when you push nothing but lies and you use people's ignorance to try to friggin' overthrow a democracy, Because this is what the bottom line is like all his lies, foundless election bullshit that the people that are just too dumb to know any different, that like every Republican that goes and works on those votes in those rooms all know it's a lie because that's how it runs. You don't know. You go into the voting places around the country and there's people that volunteer, that are independents, that are Republicans, that are Democrats. Nobody controls the vote. So the fact that the Electoral College is a broken ass system makes everybody suspicious. And, well, it's actually just the Electoral College. And our whole democracy is built on this Civil War, I think, compromise. Like, to give the South some power that they wouldn't otherwise have, which is ridiculous because what did they do? Like, you got your freaking asses kicked in the South, and now you want some sort of, like, we want power, even though we got our asses kicked. And it's just like, the people with the mindset of cavemen, essentially, is what people like myself are fighting against. And what I have to use is intelligence, education, intellect to bring up the world around me. What they do is they kill people. They kill people like me. They put a bullet in, shoot, pew, dead. Oh, now what can I educate? What can I say? That's how come the world progresses so very slowly, is because any idiot can fucking kill somebody. Now it could be argued you can't kill a fucking idea, but when everybody with that idea just keeps getting killed, it sure does become hard to further the idea of the betterment of the species. And the betterment of the species has nothing to do with dictators. It has nothing to do with people infringing on other people's bodily function and rights. Okay? So, this is a warning. Big time. If this lying, low IQ, no regard for democracy continues to keep a puppet's handle on a huge subsegment of this country, like, how do you wake these people up? They just think everything's a lie. They have no freaking clue. And it's education and lead poisoning. Yeah, watch the Vera Basian video on how one guy killed himself and the most people in history. It was lead. Okay, this is why we had this huge violent thing in the 90s and why we have huge low IQs in areas that had leaded gas. The leaded gas people who don't have much education can pull a fucking trigger just as well as anybody else. But that's all they can do. That's like their entire mentality is being puppeted and pulling triggers. Yeah. I don't know how you're going to have a good day after watching this video, but I sure hope you do. Peace.